Thank you for staying tuned. It is still the conversation here on Lagos Television. And on this side, our conversation is centered on democracy and the impact of civil society groups. As Nigeria continues to navigate the complexities of democratic governance, we would look at how civil society groups contribute to democracy, their critical roles in advocating for rights, holding institutions to account, enhancing civic participation, and giving voice to communities. Also look at what are some of the challenges that they are facing and how they can maximize impact and what the future may hold for them. Now, to give answers to all these questions, joining us is Comrade Debo Adeniran. He is the convener, the Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership, CACO. You're welcome, sir.
I think
my pleasure.
I think
Thank you.
shouldn't have just introduced it. Just panned the camera to his face, and they know, everybody knows who it is. Or
the drum rolls. All right. Since we're talking about democracy and the impact of civil society groups, let's talk a bit briefly on the evolution of democracy in Nigeria. From your perspective, what have been the major gains and the setbacks?
Of democracy?
Yes.
Of civil society?
Of democracy. Let's start with democracy first.
Well, at least now, a number of young Nigerians know that what democracy means, because they were born into democracy. You know, those that were born between 1999 and now, they didn't witness the military interregnums and all that. So basically, they believe that life is as easy as they find it now. No matter how dilapidated democratic governance is, we cannot compare it with military or dictatorship or tyranny or all of those negative ones. You know, sometimes you say that you have benevolent dictatorship. There's no dictatorship that is benevolent. If it is dictatorship, it means that you don't have a say in how your life is being administered, and that is not right. So democracy is that form of government that allow people to contribute to the process of governance. It is a form of government that actually implements, you know, programs and agenda that addresses that address the needs of the people. And a democracy is not that form of government where those that were governing, you know, think on behalf of the people. They need to send out people before they implement policies, program, and other agenda that constitutes, you know, governance. Now, if governance is done without the opinion of the people, for example, if if a government wants to compile a budget for any particular period, you know, the government is supposed to carry out what is called needs assessment. That has not been a practice in Nigeria. Yeah, there are a couple of lawmakers, there are a couple of government agencies that send people out here and there, like the Office of Civic Engagement. In most cases, they go into neighborhood, have participated in some of their program. That is the way democracy.
What about the one that is being done in Lagos by the Lagos state government, where they have town hall meetings, you know,
town hall meetings? Yes, it's part of it.
Even the local government as well.
Well, I don't know if the impact is really felt by the people at grassroots, and because if they feel the impact, they will feel the sense of belonging, that at least government factored them into the planning session, not that they just impose a budget on them. There's no way any third party can determine what is good for you without you being part of it. So you need, there are places where people require routes, and some government agencies who want to sink boreholes. Every household has its own source of water. You know, some prefer to even buy drinking water, table water from supermarkets and the rest of them. Some may decide to treat their own water and all of that. So you can impose borehole on them where they require roads. Then their economic activities needs to be enhanced. I know that federal government and maybe Lagos state government has been assisting low-income earners to ensure that their earning, their take-home pay actually take them home. But then it is still not enough when you compare with the enormous population that you have, you know, within the polity. So basically, the government has to look at the priority of the people by carrying out what I call needs assessment the other time. That, look, what will you take? Government cannot do everything for you, but should we do the road or should we sink borehole? Should we repair your school or build new school for you or build markets?
Or hospitals. Now,
or whatever, something else. Because some people believe that they can always take care of themselves when it comes to places to market their goods and services. And that is why I advise Lagos State government especially that, look, if people are making efforts on their own, if you should encourage them more. If they have homestead shops, do not just harass them unnecessarily. Ensure that you have affordable alternatives to the frontage of their homes to do their to perform their economic activities. A situation where you don't even have any affordable market in the neighborhood, and you say people engage in street trading. Even in London, there are several places where people engage in street trading. In all these so-called, developed countries. But if you don't want them to engage in street trading, you have to provide alternative that is affordable to them, not the ones that the user cost will be head above, what they can afford. Okay, so these are some of the ways democracy can work for the people. Okay. And that is what we've been enjoying since 1999. Somehow, we can argue with government. Somehow. We can talk. Yes, somehow. Because we can argue with government. We can disagree with them. We can even criticize them. That is the freedom we have. Because all the freedoms that we have as human beings, which we call human rights, can be exercised under civilian government. It doesn't necessarily have to be completely free for everybody, because you can't have direct governance where everybody does what he likes. There must be some form of control. That control is expected reasonably from the government. But then the government had to relax it to the extent that people will not think that they are in shackles. Just like the president said that the signage on his cap, what do you call it now? On his cap is signifies broken shackles. Broken chains, of course, he was there during the military regimes, and he knew what he went through, and the rest of us were also there when we could not see. By the time I get out of this place, they will be waiting for me at your gate. Even in LTV here, we have been arrested at your gate before, based on, the only reason is that we spoke the mind of our society, our community.
So let's talk about the civil society groups now, because she asked, how has democracy evolved since 1999? So what brought about civil society organizations, and what do they do exactly?
Thank you very much. It is not until middle 80s that we begin to have NGOs, non-governmental organizations. Before then, we only have labor unions, professional bodies, labor unions that's translated to NSC, Nigerian Labour Congress. Later, we have, of course, professional bodies like our own NUJ, MBA, and the rest of them. Those are the bodies that have been speaking the mind of the people.
Okay.
But then they have peculiar interests.
Okay.
So NUJ cannot speak for market men and women. So then even those who organize themselves under market men and women cannot speak for all the sectors of the economy. So,
okay.
And when we had military intervention, you know, since 1966, 67, and the rest of them, before we got back in 1979, okay, what people got used to, and that's why I say that it's only the younger ones that will think that everything is bed of roses. Now, when military came, even under Gowon, it wasn't as easy. You know, people didn't enjoy their freedom. Now, I will fast forward to middle 80s, 86, 87, 88, 89. Now, during those periods, after Buhari's military regime, things began to ease down. But the way it was under Babangida was that Babangida allowed, you know, government officials to do just what they want to do.
That was when the kickback started.
Yeah,
10% on all of so on contracts.
So they democratized corruption, actually. And of course, I have said it even to his face that his administration democratized corruption, allow his officials to get as corrupt as possible. Now, it also happened in the days of Shagari, when they have a roll of long Mercedes-Benz cars that they label MPN 1, MPN 2, until MPN 200 or more. Okay? That was a kind of obscene opulence in a society where an average person cannot ride bicycle. No, of course, if you bought a Volkswagen Beetle, then you are a big man or a big woman in your neighborhood.
Okay.
So they just use government money here and outside the country. The way they flaunt the opulence here in Nigeria is the way they flaunt it in London and all. So when Babangida came, we look at it, they arrest people under preventive detention decree number 2. Then decree number 4 was for journalists. Now, they can detain you for as long as 6 months without charge, without anything. Okay. They won't take you to court. There won't be trial. Then there was several disappearances. You just go out, you want to do a program and all that. You never return home. Okay, then
some deaths.
Deaths. Yes,
deaths,
that's what I'm saying. Extrajudicial killings. You remember Delegiwa and a few Bagaudata Kato. I mean, several other journalists were victims of that. You know, Guardian, Thompson, and the rest of them. They got, you know, arrested for nothing. They said the truth that the government didn't want them to say. Now, if they arrested you and they release you, they see it as an act of magnanimity on the part of government. That you have to come back to them to thank them. If you don't thank them, they will still take you again. Now, we observed during that period that was injustice. Okay. And that was the time we began to put ourselves together. We have what Patriotic Democratic Front was not registered, of course, you know, military didn't register any NGO or whatever. So later, National Consultative Forum, we tried to organize a national convention at the National Theatre in 1990. I had to present paper on behalf of my organization then, but they didn't allow it. Babangida didn't allow it. Then we had what we call CDHR. CDHR actually started. I'm also the president of the Committee for Defense of Human Rights, by the way. Now, CDHR started as a result of a journalist that was detained because he conducted an interview with somebody that government didn't like, and he was taken to the detention.
Yeah.
In fact, nobody knew where he was until so much later. And we have to set up a movement called Free. The guy was Femi Aborisade. So Free Femi Aborisade Committee. So we kept on moving that, look, you don't have reasons to detain this person. But then, government will not budge. We got to a stage when our late leader, the president, the first president of CDHR, I was the first secretary, suggested that, look, if you want to catch government's attention, we have to brave it, that we should carry our placards, go to Broad Street. You know, those are the days when you have majority of newspapers in Nigeria, their offices, their head offices are around Kakawa and the rest of them there. So that we should go to Broad Street and sit down right in the middle of the road, so that we call attention, we direct the attention of the world to the issue at stake. Okay, we were unable to do it because the military would not allow us. So we receded back to the Beko's office, and that is when we formed what is called Committee for the Defense of Human Rights. But before then was CLO, Civil Liberties Organization. But what we are doing really is that we trampled where angels feared to tread. You got it? So a lot of people have a lot of things to say. They have things to protest, but they wouldn't want to do it. Several companies are being shut down if they don't play the game, the tune that is dictated by the military government. They won't be able to speak out because they will proscribe them. Several, media houses were actually proscribed or maybe suspended. Now, it was the civil society that could brave it. We stuck out our neck, not because we didn't have blood running in our veins, but we thought that we deserve a better society.
That was
so when you saw you saw that organizations like Concord, like even Guardian, several of the ones were shut down. Okay, and eventually we resorted into IEC material, that is like leaflets, like pamphlets, like posters, and the rest of it. Despite that, they still handed, everybody. So, but we keep on pushing on until 1999. Of course. Before 1999 was 1993, June 12th.
Yes.
We disagree with the organization of June 12th election, because government actually created the parties for the people instead of the people creating the party. Then they give them their program, their agenda, their manifesto, their name, even their ideology. Ideology is a thing of the mind. Okay, if you want to be to the right, you be to the right. If you want to be to the left.
So at that time, the civil organizations, protest against that. Was there any protest or strike or anything against what the government did at that time for the parties, for the two parties, NRC and SDP?
There was protest even before then, okay, because about 23 associations that try to transmit to political parties were banned. Several politicians were banned. That was a time when Babangida came up with this slogan, new breed, that he wanted new breed politicians, those who had not been in politics before, and the younger folks who want to get into politics. But he couldn't find many of them, so he had to contrive a lot of things to ensure that people play politics. But the politics he contrived was that would surrender the reign of governance into his hand.
Okay, fast forward. Democracy now. 2025. Are we feeling the impact of the civil societies?
You see, it is a bittersweet kind of scenario. Okay, because if you remember when the campaign was up, all those who were frontline in becoming the president, in contesting for the president, said they were going to remove subsidy on petroleum products. of course, things would have been the same. Before now, if you listen to Okonjo-Iweala, Sanusi, the former governor of Central Bank, now the Emir of Kano and all of that, they knew that things were not right. Okay. They cried out that, look, the way our resources were being pillaged will injure the economy of the country. Okay. So necessarily, they had to remove the subsidy on fuel. Okay. Then they have to float the naira, because some people will simply, they don't have any other job, but they buy dollar and they keep it, they sell back to the society. That's just how they make their cool money. Yeah. Okay, now those who are governing us also, they help themselves to subsidy gains. Okay, they import nothing. Sometimes they import sand. Sometimes they even import petroleum products. They engage in round tripping. After collecting the subsidy, they show you that this is petroleum product. Then they ferry it to another country, or they take it back and all of that. Wow. So a lot of businessmen without conscience engage in all of that, and Nigerians were paying for what they didn't enjoy. It is a good thing that, I am just saying that it's a good thing that the president eventually braved the odds. A number of people said that Jonathan wanted to remove it in 2012. And he was
one of those that opposed it in 2012.
Yeah, that's why the other said, look, listen. Bola Tinubu was not the one who made 2012 happen. He wasn't the leader of Occupy Nigeria. There are three major planks. Okay. An additional one in Abuja. Okay. The first one was the one engineered by Tunde Bakare. I was there in person in the two. The other one was engineered by, chaperoned by the late Tunji Braithwaite, Dr. Tunji Braithwaite of, Okay, so Save Nigeria Group was the one done by Tunde Bakare, led by Tunde Bakare. Nigeria Salvation Front was the one led by late Dr. Tunji Braithwaite. Then NSC and Joint Action Front also led their own in Yaba. Okay, so the one for Tunde Bakare started at Lagos GRA. The one for Tunji Braithwaite started at, he had 150 Oregon. Then the other one from NSC, so they brought it. Yeah. We now converged at Ojota. Yeah. Now there is Occupy Nigeria that was led by Comrade Jaye Gaskia in Abuja. Okay. So that was what happened. Then in several parts of the country, we have our own points people who did it. Bola Tinubu was not one of them. But then he wasn't in support of this fraudulent subsidy regime. Now, he braved it. He did it. But then the repercussion now came hard on Nigerian people. That is the bitter aspect of it. If Bola Tinubu had allowed us to debate, and the other time I said democracy needed to get the input of the people that it serves before it becomes legitimate. Bola Tinubu didn't even ask us, what do we do with the gains of subsidy removal? Maybe he will have gotten a better advice that will make life more abundant for the people. How do you apply? You gave it to the same governors that we are criticizing are making life difficult for us. The governors don't send people out. In fact, they don't even believe that the people matter. Most of them.
Not in Lagos.
Not all of them. You have had bad and good governors in Lagos also, but we don't want to go into that details.
Since 1999.
Don't worry. Do you want me to go into it?
1999.
I have discussed him here. Even when I discussed him here, even when he was in office.
Okay.
And I supported him with data.
Data. Okay.
You know, facts and figures. I published as a 3 books on him. So if you don't want me, if you want me to go into breakdown, we will still go into it. But
we will.
that
We
is
don't have
not
enough.
necessary.
We don't have enough time.
So
But I still want to
basically,
talk about
what we are saying is that Bola Tinubu means well.
Okay.
The strategies and tactics may be wrong, and that is why we are feeling the pains. Then not everybody in his boat are in the same accord with him. Some people are sabotaging his efforts. Some of them are the governors. They collect more than 3 times of what they used to get. Yeah. But they didn't allow you to reflect on the lives of the citizens in their states. Yeah. There are several states without roads. They don't have market. They don't have hospitals. The hospitals, in fact, some built hospitals, they didn't keep it. Some imported equipment. Nobody to use it because they didn't train experts. They didn't bring in experts that would train the people. There are so many things like that. Many companies cannot produce because of conscienceless people in the MDAs. So if there had been conditional cash transfer to those who actually need it, yes, it's a good thing that he did NEL fund. Several eligible students had opportunity at having tertiary education. Their parents are given soft loans. That is fine. Okay? But things have been difficult in town. Transportation is not easy for an average producer, I mean, in the suburban area. So if you are a farmer and you have your products, you know, if several kilometers away from the city, to get them to where they will be sold is a Herculean task. Okay, and of course, because the fuel, the cost of fuel is high, the cost of maintaining vehicles is also high. That means that the cost of the product will also be high.
Okay, so having highlighted some of these things, where do the civil societies now come in? Okay,
so add to that question, so because you have highlighted how it was in the military regime, and now that democracy is here, and now that we find ourselves in a state where everyone wants to be a voice, echoing either for the right or wrong reasons. 2 or 3 people can gather and say we are a civil society. And
people, some people just address civil society organizations as the representing the opposition.
That's so let's bring it down to really understand what defines a civil society.
Well, civil society is an aggregate of people of like minds that want to fight or maybe to represent their various communities on the desires and the needs that is germane to their livelihood. It's slightly different, and the funding of civil society groups is primarily from the membership and
I will agree
members of the community.
That's the only way you can stay independent.
That's different from NGOs. NGOs are funded by international development partners. Yes. So they write proposals. These proposals are looked into. If it tallies with their own core objectives, they fund it. Sometimes they are contacted. That look, we want you to hold this kind of program in your country, and they give them enough money support. So when you, of course, as many as we are, as persons, as human beings, so we have agenda. Our needs are different. Our wants are also different. Okay, but the convergent point is that makes life convenient for us to live. We need food. How do we get it? We need healthcare delivery. Our children need education. We need good road to move on. We need electricity. We need good drinkable water and all of that. How do we get it? So anybody that is doing anything different from that will serve the needs of the people is anti-people, and it's not. Civil society, when you look at the civil aspect of it, it comes from civility.
Civility, yeah.
Okay? Now, you cannot say you are civilized if you trample upon the rights of the people. Or you steal the money with which you should have taken care of security and welfare of the people, which is the primary purpose of governance.
Which has a name.
Okay? Now, our security, our welfare had been put in jeopardy. It's a lot of people are local governments to themselves.
Yeah.
You provide your own security. You provide your own welfare.
Water,
everything.
Yeah.
The government is not helping. There are places where you don't even have government.
And that is why people will not want to pay tax.
Ungovernable, ungoverned spaces in Nigeria in 2025.
Wow.
Bola Tinubu made much money available to people. He encouraged industrialists to do their thing and make their products cheap for the people. But there are middlemen who are conscienceless, okay, who profiteer from the misery of the people, from the suffering of the people. So these are the kind of middlemen that had to be removed by new policies that government should implement. The way to implement it is to actually kind of analyze, for want of the right word, all the existing civil society, because we have to register under CAC, we have to register under SCUMU. By the way, SCUMU is a special control unit against money laundering, because some are using the civil society, whatever, GERB, to launder money for thieves who pillage our national resources. Okay? Government should ensure that SCUMU work. Then there is something you call Act 2 at every MDA. You know, Act 2 is I forgot. Yes, I know. So transparency unit actually is to ensure transparency and accountability at the level of MDAs, military departments and agencies. If all of these things are made to work, then NFIU is at the level of central bank, okay, that controls the inflow and outflow of funds. And that is why we have to have, what do we call it, the bank verification numbers.
Vivian.
So if you have more accounts in anywhere, BVN will reveal how much you have in all of those accounts. But they are not working the way they have been designed. This is why life is still difficult for an average Nigerian. Look at EFCC. Their Chapter 7 empowers them to ask questions if they suspect that somebody is living above his legitimate earnings. If all the laws are there, but those are implementing it are the saboteurs. Okay, so they are actually the people. Then civil servants, they can be terrible sometimes.
Why do you say that?
They make common sense difficult. You write to them, they are not going to reply. You do follow up, they ask you to come up. They ask you to come, you get there, they say, the director is not around. You have to come the following day. They make things difficult for an average Nigerian. You want to use Freedom of Information Act, they say it's not operable in Lagos. It's unfortunate. It's a national law. We are running a federation. No, so that's what happened in the days of that governor that I was talking about. Okay, we had a number of confrontation over that. Now, government is not helping smallholders, I mean, these those who are doing small businesses with soft loans, whatever they give to them will not percolate.
You know, I will always
they try. No, they
will always rely.
They have such policies
in Lagos. I will always talk about Lagos, LSCTF. I will. I will always come back to Lagos.
The thing that when you ask me to talk about Nigeria, if you want us to zero it to Lagos, there are aspects of it in Lagos
that works.
That works
very well for the people.
I agree. Not very well, but we can say it's working for the people.
Okay, he's working.
I tell you, most of those in Lagos is my home also. Okay, I cannot do anything that will tarnish their images, but they have to do more.
Okay, do more.
So we can break it down. For those who violated construction rules and regulations,
yes,
they shouldn't have allowed them to finish their buildings before they pull it down. If they had, there should be thorough supervision.
Okay.
Then for those who have been living in their dwelling places since a very long time, they should have been magnanimous enough to give them adequate compensation, knowing that, well, the places where they are living was unplanned when they got there, and it turned out to be maybe flood water areas. There's a way they could do it, make it easier for them to move. Although there are a number of immigrants into Lagos that are not supposed to be in Lagos anyway. If you don't have,
Lagos is still accommodating everyone.
That is why it's called a mega city, and it's having mega consideration from both internal whatever and external financials.
Yeah, we need to go.
So we need to go.
Time will not permit us.
Time will not permit us to finish this conversation.
There are several areas where we are yet to touch.
I really wanted us to also talk about corruption, but I think my producer will have to bring you back very soon. We've talked about democracy and impact of civil society groups with Comrade Debo Adeniro, convener Kako. Thank you very much for coming. We're expecting you back very soon.
No problem.
Well, we will narrow it down to Lagos.
I cannot.
We will narrow it down to Lagos.
If you don't call me,
we will call you.
I can't call
you. We will call you. My producer is listening. We will call you. Thank you very much for coming. We'll go on a short break.
Producer is my friend.
We'll go on a short break.
He knows that I'm there.
The conversation continues.
You want me to call? No problem.
Thank you.